Welcome back to JF Coin, your number one place for discovering rare and valuable coins hiding in plain sight. If you've got pocket change sitting in a jar or stashed away in a drawer, you might just be sitting on a small fortune. Today's episode is going to blow your mind because we're diving deep into a very common coin with an unbelievable hidden value, the 1979 Lincoln penny. Yes, you heard that right. This regular-looking 1-cent coin could actually be worth hundreds, even over $585,335 in rare cases. So don't blink, don't skip, you might just have one of these pennies sitting right under your nose. Let's get into the details, the history, and why collectors are rushing to get their hands on these coins. Let's start with the history of the 1979 Lincoln penny. In 1979, the U.S. Mint was striking billions of coins for circulation. The Lincoln cent, which had been in production since 1909, was made of 95% copper and 5% zinc, a composition that would change just a few years later due to rising metal costs. The Denver Mint, marked with a D under the year on the coin, produced over 4.1 billion Lincoln pennies in 1979. Sounds like a lot, right? So why would this coin be worth so much? Because, my friends, not all pennies are created equal. And some of these 1979 pennies were struck with extraordinary errors or preserved in near-perfect condition, making them extremely valuable to collectors today. Let's break down what makes a 1979 penny valuable. These are like factory mistakes, and collectors go crazy for them. Some rare errors on the 1979 include double die obverse, where Lincoln's image or the lettering appears doubled, center strikes, where the design isn't properly centered, clipped planchets, where a portion of the coin is missing, where the D was punched more than once. Even the smallest of these errors can increase the value of a coin from 1 cent to thousands of dollars. And trust me, these are out there. People have found them in change, in rolls, and even in old jars. Now here comes the part you've been waiting for, the big money. Recently, a 1979 Lincoln penny sold at auction for a jaw-dropping $585,335. That's right, over $500,000 for a coin that originally cost just 1 cent. Why? That particular coin was in near-perfect MS69 condition, had a brilliant red luster, flawless surface, and razor-sharp strike. Possibly had a rare, unreported error, or was one of the finest known examples. Remember, coins like that are 1 in a billion. But many other 1979 pennies are still worth hundreds or even thousands, especially if they have strong luster, no scratches, and are kept in good condition. And learned something new. Don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe to JF Coins, and ring the notification bell so you never miss a rare coin update. And hey, if you've ever found a rare coin, or if you think you might have a 1979 penny worth money, drop a comment below. We'd love to hear your story and maybe even feature it in an upcoming video. Thanks for watching, Coin Family, and remember, the next time you get change back, check those pennies, because treasure can come in copper. Until next time, this is JF Coin, signing. Happy hunting. Welcome back to JF Coin, your ultimate destination for everything coins, history, values, rare finds, and market updates. If you love coins as much as I do, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell to never miss out on the latest in the coin collecting world. Today, we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating and valuable coins in American numismatics, the Lincoln penny from 1982. But not just any Lincoln penny, we're talking about the rare, highly sought-after varieties, the incredible history behind this iconic coin, and the mind-blowing current market value, which right now can reach an astonishing $585,330. That's right, over $500,000 for a penny. So, what makes this coin so special? Why do collectors and investors go crazy over it? And how can you spot one if you come across it in your change? Stay tuned, because we are covering it all, right here on JF Coins, the story of the Lincoln penny. Let's start with a bit of history to set the scene. The Lincoln penny has been an American staple since 1909, celebrating the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. Designed by Victor David Brenner, it was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person, marking a huge moment in coin design history. The penny's design has changed very little over the decades, making it an enduring symbol of American heritage. But while the penny may seem like a common, everyday coin, some years and variations have become legendary, especially among collectors. 1982, in particular, is a pivotal year in the penny's history. This was the year the U.S. Mint changed the composition of the penny, a fact that many people don't realize. Prior to 1982, pennies were primarily made of copper, specifically 95% copper and 5% zinc. However, due to rising copper prices, the mint shifted to mostly zinc pennies coated with a thin layer of copper starting mid-year. This composition change created a unique split year for 1982 pennies, making it possible to find pennies with two different metal contents, copper and zinc, minted the same year. Collectors love these differences, and some versions are extremely rare and valuable. The rare 1982 Lincoln penny varieties. Here's where things get really interesting. Check for mint marks. Pennies minted in Philadelphia have no mint mark, Denver pennies have a D, and San Francisco proof pennies have an S. Watch out for errors and unusual markings. These can add thousands to a penny's value. Condition is everything. Coins graded mint state 65 or higher by PCGS or NGC will command the highest prices. How to protect and value your coins. If you find a rare 1982 Lincoln penny, don't just put it back in your pocket. Handle it carefully, avoid cleaning it, and consider getting it professionally graded and authenticated. Professional grading not only protects your coin but also increases its market value dramatically. Final thoughts. The 1982 Lincoln penny is a perfect example of how something as small as a penny can hold immense historical value and exciting investment potential. From its rich history, the copper-to-zinc composition change, rare proof varieties, to the staggering market value exceeding $500,000, this coin tells an amazing story that every coin collector should know. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the 1982 Lincoln penny, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to JF Coins, and share it with your fellow coin enthusiasts. Do you have a 1982 penny or other rare coins? Drop a comment below and tell us what you found. We love hearing your stories and helping you discover the value hidden in your collection. Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep hunting those treasures and keep the passion for coins alive. This is JF Coins, signing off. Welcome back to JF Coin. Today, we're diving deep into a true American treasure, the 1987 Lincoln penny. That's right, this seemingly ordinary coin could be hiding an extraordinary secret, because believe it or not, one of these copper-plated zinc coins has a shocking market value of $585,333. That's not a typo. Over $500,000. Let's rewind the clock. The year is 1987, Ronald Reagan is president, the stock market is booming, and gas is just 89 cents a gallon. The Denver Mint, known for the small D mark just below the date on coins, produced over 4.2 billion Lincoln pennies that year. Yes, billions, which makes you wonder, how can a coin so common become so valuable? Here's where it gets interesting. Most of the 1987 pennies were made from a copper-plated zinc composition. But every now and then, a mistake occurs. A minting error, a planchet mix-up, or an unusual die variety, and suddenly, you're holding a coin that can change your life. The 1987 penny that sold for $585,333 was no ordinary coin. It had an extremely rare off-metal error, possibly struck on a foreign planchet, and it was in mint state condition, fully lustrous, and professionally graded by experts. Collectors go crazy for these rarities. And when it's authenticated by top grading companies like PCGS or NGC, the price skyrockets. That's exactly what happened with this Lincoln penny. Because of its near-perfect condition and rare composition, it fetched over $500,000 in a private sale. Now, let's talk numbers. As of today's market, the rarest varieties of the 1987 Lincoln penny, especially those with major mint errors or in top mint state grades, can be valued anywhere from a few hundred to several $100,000, and yes, there is a buyer's market. Collectors, auction houses, and numismatic investors are always looking for unique coins, especially ones tied to the Lincoln cent S. Thanks for watching, Coin Family. If you learned something new today or feel inspired to check your change, make sure to like this video, subscribe to JF Coins, and hit that bell icon so you never miss a future treasure. Watch our next video, the 1992 Close AM Lincoln penny worth over $25,000. Hashtag Lincoln penny, hashtag rare coins, hashtag JFCONS, hashtag 1987D, hashtag coin collectors, hashtag valuable pennies, hashtag US coins, hashtag coin hunting, hashtag numismatics.